The MacVoices update for September 2023. This is MacVoices. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. This is the MacVoices September 2023 MacVoices update. I'm getting this out a little bit earlier because there are a couple things that are of a timely nature that I wanted to mention to you, but also it's not that much earlier because September is a short month. So first up, if you are subscribed to the MacVoices dispatch, the dispatch that went out last Friday, you may or may not have had this issue. There appeared to be some malware being generated from somewhere. And I got one complaint of this. I was not able to duplicate it. I checked with a lot of other folks who received the dispatch. They did not see it, but I am a little concerned that if you did see it, please accept my apologies. I don't know where it came from or how. As you probably know, I use MailChimp for the dispatch. I don't think it was their problem. I don't know if it was a MacVoices site problem. I've run a cleaning on the site and made sure that everything was okay there. Nothing specifically showed up for the links, but still, whatever reason it is, if it happened to one person, it may have happened to a lot, and I apologize for that. One other thing about the dispatch, sometimes it just comes in buckets. I launched something new called the MacVoices Featured Gear section, and that had a problem with the link as well. That was not a malware situation. It was just a 404. But that's been corrected, so you'll see that link start to appear a little more regularly in the dispatch, but I apologize for that. It was one of those things where WordPress threw a hyphen in that it wasn't intended, and it just messed things up. So speaking, though, of the featured gear section, want to let you know that in case you haven't noticed this before, it seems like the podcast sponsorships out there are drying up, at least for this part of the year. And it's getting a little bit tougher to continue to fund things. So we'll get to the Patreon support report in a little while, and that's always the first best way to support us. But also, I decided to start featuring specific items of gear in the shows and in place of the ad spots. Now, I want to be very clear to everyone. These are not paid placements. These are gear selections that I make, that I use, that I can endorse, that I can feel good about sending to you, having been tested, or something that I think is really interesting. If it's something that I don't actually use or have in hand, I will mention that fact. It is just intended to help you a little bit. If you can purchase the item through the affiliate links, that helps us a little bit, doesn't cost you any extra, and also hopefully will give you a little bit of insight into some of those pieces of gear. So think about it as like a micro MacVoices briefing on the given product, just hitting some of the very high highlights of that product and why you might want to consider it for whatever you're doing. So that's macvoices.com/featured gear, all one long word, no hyphens, no nothing. If you want to check it out, there are only one or two items there, depending on when you listen to this. And there will be more as more ad spots open up, and I want to fill them with featured gear. Also, in the last month, I did a couple surveys. One was a social media survey that was very, very interesting, and I reported on that last month. This month, though, a couple things popped up that Apple is encouraging the creation of individual episode unique art. Now, that was not something that was important to me at all. So I decided to ask you. And much to my surprise, it was a lot more important to you than it was to me. The folks who preferred individual episode art edged out those who didn't really care by just about 1 point. So it clearly was an even split, but that, in my mind, means that a lot of you are looking for individual episode art. Exactly how I'm going to do that or what form it's going to take, I'm not quite sure because I'm not an artist. But there are options out there for me, and I've got a couple ideas, even if it's just some unique text descriptions in the title panels for the shows. So stay tuned on that. And if you have thoughts or ideas, I would love to hear them, keeping in mind that I'm not an artist. Other than that, MacVoices has been very busy this month with the Apple announcements and release of new products and new OS versions, one of which is happening just as I record this today. So we'll be continuing to discuss that and get things up to speed as we get new gear in hand and get more experience with it. We'll be talking about it a lot more on MacVoices Live. There are a number of things I already have on the slate scheduled for late September, early October, and even beyond that. So, and there are a couple other things I'm working on that are longer-term projects, may or may not come to fruition, but we'll see. And as always, if you have ideas, thoughts, requests for features or interviews or somebody you'd like to hear from, please let me know. I'm always happy to try to reach out to someone. And it's surprising how many times if I say that, hey, somebody has requested that you appear on the show to talk about what you do, they're flattered and they will come. And that's what it's all about, is delivering great information to you. As I've said a million times, I'm looking to earn your support. I don't want you to give it. I want to earn it. And I hope you get the best out of MacVoices that I can give you. Which also leads me to something else, and that is that I need a little help promoting the show. So Apple reviews always help, podcast reviews, but really anytime you can share a podcast description that I post on social media, or like it, or tell friends about a particular episode, or just about MacVoices in general, it's always absolutely appreciated. One other thing that came to light as a result of the malware situation was that I was surprised a number of folks who are regular viewers and listeners of MacVoices were not aware that we have a weekly newsletter. The weekly newsletter basically summarizes the shows of the week. It lists some of the things that we favor in MacVoices magazine. And that, by the way, is not a repeat of the daily articles of the day that I post to social media. And also any other appearances, any other shows that I have the good fortune to appear on that week. So check it out. And of course, every so often I'll throw in a personal thought. I need to get better about that. And I know that because I've had some requests for that. So like it or not, you'll be hearing of a few more short opinions from me weekly. So with that, as always, we'll get to the support report. And at this point, I always say thank you to everyone, however you support MacVoices, whether it's through the things I just mentioned, purchasing things through our affiliate links, or clicking through to the sponsors we do have, or telling someone about MacVoices, giving us social media feedback. All those things greatly, greatly help, and I always appreciate it. But I especially appreciate the Patreon sponsors, because those are the folks who helped fund MacVoices and keep the lights on and everything flowing, hopefully without malware, to get you the shows as we like to bring them to you. So for September, we did not have anyone at Platinum, but at Gold, we had Webb B, David G, Robert G, Tim G, and Frank P. At Silver, we had Baz, Craig A, Eric B, Eric C, Brett C, Bruce E, Cletus H, Barry M, Chuck P, George R, Andrea S, and Daniel S. And at Bronze, we had Max C, Tom C, Brian F, Craig A, Craig H, Clinton M, John M, and Prop P. So folks, thank you so much. You'll see those names at the end of this show and at the end of all of our shows in September. That's one of the benefits of being a MacVoices patron. They also all get access to the MacVoices Slack. Not everybody takes us up on that offer, and that's fine. It's not like it's required or anything, but it is an option to get to know some of the folks who really do keep the MacVoices crew running, and also the MacVoices Live panels participate there quite a bit as well. So we'd love to have you join us. For as little as $1 a month, you can help keep MacVoices coming to you, and you get access to those benefits. And if there are other benefits that I can provide, please let me know. I'm not sure if you all remember it, depending on how long you've been listening, but a long time ago, we asked folks about, do you want swag? Do you want things in relation or in return for your sponsorships? And the response was pretty much an overwhelming no. that there was no reason to ship a lot of junk out and create overhead. They were more interested in supporting the actual content of the show. And I appreciate that. That's always the way I feel too. The swag is fun, but it really is just more stuff that gathers up that I didn't necessarily need. So if you want to help sponsor Mac Voices for as little as $1 a month, it is patreon.com/MacVoices. Again, patreon.com/MacVoices. I'll be back with another update next month. If anything happens exciting in between, I'll let you know. As always, I'm Chuck Joyner. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.